What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the inaugural episode of Songs I Love from Mace. Straight from my heart, songs that I love, whether or not they're of the darker ilk, of the more happy ilk, of the middle of the road, just sort of silly type of song. Regardless, they're songs that I've listened to for innumerable hours, maybe not hours, but I've listened to these tracks many, many times. I know them. I should be. I'd like to think that I'm very familiar with the artist, so hopefully I can provide some insight, give you guys, a little piece of the type of music that it's just happened to catch my ear. It's just happened to catch my heart. It's happened to catch my soul. This is the type of music that I listen to a lot. And I'm always discovering new stuff. But music, even though it's one of my, central loves, I don't get a lot of time to discover new stuff. So inevitably, I end up sticking with a lot of the old stuff. So today, we're talking about Atmosphere, which is Slug, who is the rapper. He is the vocalist of the group. And then we have Anthony Davis. So Slug, his name is, in real life, Sean Daly. And then we have Ant, whose real name is Anthony Davis. And they are both from Minnesota. They're from Minneapolis. Minneapolis, Minnesota. So that Midwestern, they're that Midwestern hot dish country, Fargo country. So they're basically pretty much legends. If you are familiar with backpack rap, underground hip hop, LP, Def Jux, Merce, Aesop Rock, a lot of these guys have associations with each other and have collaborated on music throughout the years. But Atmosphere specifically, man, they've evolved a lot. Starting around probably 2008, maybe. I think with 2008, their sound really started to evolve. They released an album called You Can't Imagine How Much Fun We're Having. And ever since then, I think Slug has adopted a more soft style. I wouldn't say soft, but he kind of transitioned from that young, braggadocious, just I don't give a F type attitude to a father, because the dude is a father, he has a family, and he's now coined, I don't know if he coined the term, but hashtag dad rap is something that Slug abides by, and you'll hear that on all of their albums since. I like to describe it as rap that you can proudly bring home and let your family listen to without any unnecessary vulgarity. They might swear here and there, but their songs really have meaning. He attempts to write stories. He attempts to write actual, pieces of art. He attempts to write actual narratives and things which contain substance, not just fluff, not just useless, braggadocious, superficial BS. He tries to create something of meaning. So this particular song, though, is titled Flicker, and it is definitely a sentimental one. It concerns the death of his friend, Michael Larson, also known as Idea, Eyedea, Idea, who was a rapper and artist on Rhymesayers Entertainment, which Slug and Ant co-founded back in, I think, 1995, 1996. So, these guys are pushing 50 and they're still rapping. They have a new album coming out October 30th, which, I'm definitely going to listen to. Their music has maybe become a little bit stale, but every so often they find a spark of just fire, and they bring me something that brings absolute pleasure to my ears. But they have so many tracks, and many albums, many EPs. So yeah, they're legends when it comes to underground hip hop. But I think that's adequate intro for everybody. Let's check this out. Atmosphere, Flicker. I hope you love it. Link is in the description. Let's take a stroll through it. It's a sentimental one, that's for sure. So one little flicker of light can erase the dark. And it's really talking to how one person can be that powerful of a personality, bring that much life into the world, and be a flicker. Can erase the dark. It's beautiful. I love the beat. It's it really sets the tone for Slug to come in and lay something emotional for everybody. That piano. I don't know what the sample's from, but it's great. Okay.
Yeah, I've been drinking, you already know. Do I smell like escape? Probably so. I found your tape in my old collection, put it in, pushed play, then I poured a fresh one. I look back with a hesitant laugh, but in reality it's dark down memory Ave. All the trials and suffering we shared with each other. A lot of people thought that we were actually brothers. You know me. You know I'm a control freak. Who told you you could die before me?
That line always gets me. You know me. You know I'm a control freak. Who told you could die before me? Like, you know I'm a control freak. Who told you could die before me? It's such a sad line, man. It's so sad, but so poignant and so beautiful. Like, you know me. You know I'm a control freak. Who told you could die before me? And the way he says it, and knowing his friend has gone, it's really great. It's really great stuff.
And we shared with each other. A lot of people thought that we were actually brothers. You know me. You know I'm a control freak. Who told you could die before me? Gone. Another dog lost to the wild. I feel like a snot-nosed child. And when I hear your smile, it's outlined in sadness. You poked holes in the magic. You taught jokes to the clowns that never learned how to appreciate the lights before the bulbs burned out. Flicker.
To appreciate the bulbs before the... Okay, let's just re-listen. Just re-listen to those lyrics.
Freak, who told you could die before me? Gone. Another dog lost to the wild. I feel like a snot-nosed child. And when I hear your smile, it's outlined in sadness. You poked holes in the magic. You taught jokes to the clowns that never learned how to appreciate the lights before the bulbs burned out. Flicker.
One little flicker of light can erase the dark. One little flicker of light can erase the dark.
Yeah, I've been thinking, you already know. Do I sound frustrated? Probably so. Sometimes I feel guilty, I was out on the road. If I'd have seen where it was going, I'd have stopped the whole show. I realize.
Sometimes I feel guilty, I was out on the road. If I'd have seen where it was going, I'd have stopped the whole show. So what he's referring to here is Slug was on the road, he was touring as Atmosphere when he got the call about Idea passing away. And how difficult that was. How difficult of a call that was to deal with. And it's really, really solemn, but he continues on. Let's go.
Do I sound frustrated? Probably so. Sometimes I feel guilty, I was out on the road. If I'd have seen where it was going, I'd have stopped the whole show. I realize it ain't realistic. I keep trying to make the pieces fit with the info presented. I felt resentment, I held this against myself. I wanna help my friend. It stays in my head that I was on a stage when you were laying in bed. Body was discovered by your own mother. It penetrates my chest, I still taste the regret that I slept through a late night call from your homie. But then I spoke with Sadiq the next morning, and then I smoked 1 million cigarettes. Go figure, maybe I was trying to catch up with you. Flicker.
One little flicker of light can erase the dark. One little flicker of light can erase the dark.
Yeah, I've been thinking, you already know. Do I look exhausted? Probably so. I don't get much sleep. I'm not sick, I'm fine. I'm just trying to make the most of this limited time. And I'm missing you, but I ain't gonna lie. The distance grew between I. And at the end, even though we didn't speak enough, you were easily one of the best people I've loved.
And I ain't gonna lie, the distance grew between I. And even though at the end we didn't speak enough, you're still easily one of the best people I've loved. Ah, Slug. You really get my heartstrings with this one, man. Hopefully you can someday watch this reaction, and it's so funny because he brings up these lines coming up pretty quick about how the rapper who passed away would think this is too straightforward, man. This is too simple. I don't like the chorus. The concept is too straightforward. Like, this is not deep enough for a memorial for me. And just the way Slug does it, it's really touching for me.
I'm not sick, I'm fine. I'm just trying to make the most of this limited time. And I'm missing you, but I ain't gonna lie. The distance grew between I. And at the end, even though we didn't speak enough, you were easily one of the best people I've loved. And now I'm trying to write a song for a dead songwriter that wrote their own songs about life and death.
I'm trying to write a song for a dead songwriter who wrote their own songs about life and death. Because he was a heck of a songwriter. A lot of the times his music was abstract. It wasn't easily deciphered. But he was an incredibly passionate artist. He could rapidy rap. He could bring really contemplative and really deep, concept songs. And at the same time, he could just rap his butt off. But I love how Slug just lays that line out. He's kind of like saying, I'm not quite as rapidy rap as you. And it's sort of this cute, I don't know about cute is the right word, but there's a certain warmth to those lyrics there, and it's really touching to me. Go back a bit.
But I ain't gonna lie, the distance grew between I. And at the end, even though we didn't speak enough, you were easily one of the best people I've loved. And now I'm trying to write a song for a dead songwriter that wrote their own songs about life and death. And every breath is full of self-awareness. Don't ever be afraid to be embarrassed. So I wrote these words to describe what I cry about. But I'm certain if you were here right now, you'd ridicule these lyrics. You'd hate this chorus and probably tell me that the concept is too straightforward. Flicker.
One little flicker of light can erase the dark. One little flicker of light can erase the dark.
So that's episode 1 of Songs I Love. Hopefully this track doesn't get blocked. I think Ant is such an amazing producer. He definitely goes against the convention of a lot of modern contemporary hip hop, and he sort of does these backdrops, these soundscapes that are so smooth. They incorporate live instrumentation, guitars, bass guitars, guitar, drums, and they're so funky. Like his newest release, Felt For You, it's so funky. It reminds me of Daft Punk, Random Access Memories. But he has been producing music for such a long time, and the two of them together, they just sort of have this formula. They don't always hit the mark 100%. Their last couple of albums, their last 3 albums, they don't always have the highest peaks, and they don't always have the lowest valleys, but they do have some high peaks, and they have some real gems in there if you can find them. And they have a lot of tracks with a lot of just amazing songwriting, amazing storytelling. Go check out The Waitress by Slug. Slug, he's not as technical a rapper as he used to be, but he still has those songwriting chops. He's like the Bob Dylan of rap. I don't know if that's an apt comparison, but he definitely attempts to really, really write something. They're not just bars. Oh, look at this catchy wordplay and cool rhyme schemes and patterns. It's more so about crafting a song. It's about crafting a composition. Go listen to a song called Became from Atmosphere. Go listen to something like Scapegoat, which is a lot more dark than this, but man, their catalog is absolutely fantastic. Definitely one of my favorite groups, and the type of music that you can typically, you could show it to your grandmother, and she's gonna like it. A lot of their especially their newer stuff, because they really try to craft. I wouldn't say it's like soothing rap or chill rap, but the beats aren't industrial and the beats aren't too crazy and metallic and noisy. A lot of their newer stuff really, really is just easy listening. It's like easy listening rap. But anyways, this is a particular track. This came off the album titled Southsiders in 2014. And that's episode 1, I guess. That's just one particular song. I'm gonna try to I'm gonna include songs that I've listened to a lot, and that's the whole point of this series. So yeah, anyways, see you later.